Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people of us of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform. This is Let's Talk TV, and today is the 9th day of from February 2025. And honestly speaking, I'll say today is a wonderful, bright Sunday. A very happy Sunday to every lovers of freedom, both those here and those in diaspora. Yes, let us go straight up to this one because Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Chief of Staff, Biafran Republic Government in exile, and the United States of Biafra has actually dropped a very important notice, an update from the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Ojukwu. So many people have been asking a lot of questions concerning the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Ojukwu, but the truth is that the needful will be done, and one assurance is that no matter how long it takes, the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa will join us in less than due time. So let us go straight up to the update of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Ojukwu before we go into the video proper, because the DPM, is actually dropping back-to-back orders, and she's doing well. She's actually doing well. She's doing everything possible to secure the freedom of our people and also protect the lives and properties of our people. So let us go straight to the breaking update on the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. West reaching the United States of Biafran government on our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku's case points to the fact that the Finnish government is yet to come up with a definitive charge against our Prime Minister relating to the unfounded prolonged incarceration and investigation on incitement. So I want you to get this thing clear. The Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is not being charged for terrorism-related activities. This was actually what the Nigerian government wanted him to be charged for. But he is being charged for incitement. And the reality is that they've not even seen any good evidence or reason to continue to incarcerate him there. So the big question is, why still prolonging this investigation? You don't investigate somebody under custody when you don't have a tangible reason to keep the person under custody. It is actually the right thing for you to let him go. Then you can continue your investigation. After all, he is a citizen. After all, he's not running anywhere because he's fully part of your government. So why keep him under custody when you haven't even found a tangible reason, enough to keep him under custody? That is why we need to keep raising our voices high, loud enough, so that the world will know about this injustice being meted on the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Ojukwu. So let's continue with that information. This comes amidst report from the just concluded IRF summit, where Nigeria, headed by President Tinubu and represented by Minister Bianca Ojukwu, was found to be the most dangerous place for Christians in the world to live, with over 10,000 dead, according to the GS Relief report. And going on this investigation, I'm going to drop a video of an interview with Dr. Ngozi Orabueze and a foreign, will I call him a foreign reporter, who was actually interested in this whole ordeal. And believe me, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze did a very clinical job, by clarifying the world and enlightening the world again against the injustices being meted upon Biafran people. Watch this video, and please make sure you share this video to as many groups and platforms as possible.
December 2024 and today, we've had over hundreds of Christians that were killed in Biafraland by the Fulani terrorists and the reintegrated terrorists wearing Nigerian military and police uniform. This is what the Christians go through in Nigeria over the years. There is no solution. There is no comment from the government. Everybody just turns a deaf ear. And that was part of the reason why the United States of Biafra has declared their independence, because we cannot continue to live in a country where the government reintegrates non-terrorists into the police, into the military, and send them down to the Biafra territory to kill anyone that talks about Biafra, anyone that talks about their independence. And mostly, all Biafrans are Christians. So that's what's been going on. There's several instances too.
So you are saying, am I understanding you correctly, that the Nigerian federal government is actively aiding the jihad terrorists?
Definitely, by reintegrating non-terrorists into the country.
Do you think that this is a connection to the fact that the former president was a Fulani himself?
Again, over the years, in the past leadership in Nigeria, we have had more of these Islamic leaders that have ruled Nigeria. So if you have been, I know as you are aware, Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state where we have equal representation of both Christians and Muslims. But the country is now an Islamic state. It was declared as an Islamic state by Britain without the permission of the Christians. So Nigeria has been dragged into the IOC without the permission of the Christians. So there has been a systemic plan to Islamize the country where we are really right now. So it has been like that, and that is what is really going on, which has led to the loss of life of so many Christians and innocent indigents inside Nigeria.
Yes. Thank you. With the leader of your movement in prison and Kanu in prison, what are the real prospects, though, for you being able to establish a genuinely independent state that is free from interference from the Nigerian government and military?
Thank you so much for that question. So we've been following all the allowed laws that guide the establishment of a new nation. We have our geographical area already mapped out. We've been building alliances with countries like the Eritrean government in exile, the Ambazonia government, and several other countries that really recognized Biafra between 1967 and 1970, but never ever surrendered or say they no longer support us. So those alliances have been built. And we are following every step as a nation with the cabinet already set up, following all the due process to ensure that we go through the legal processes for United States of Biafra to be recognized as one of the newest independent nations in the world. So we are going through the allowed legal process by the United Nations, by the African Charter. All that is being put in place at this time to make our country recognized all over the world.
So have you received any positive responses from the UN or from other states or the United States for that matter?
Again, all that is in process. Just remember, we just declared our independence in November 2024. So our legal department are putting all the right papers in the right table to ensure that those recognitions come. But like I said, we already got a couple of recognitions from some of our allies, and we are the nation was invited during the Donald Trump inauguration. We were in Washington, D.C., of which Nigeria was never invited. And I believe there's several human rights reports about the injustices, the abuse of human rights, the killing of Christians, both by the United Nations by the African Union and other bodies. So we are in the process of doing that, and we're getting a lot of positive response in building a very free nation, devoid of jihadism, devoid of persecution, where human rights are respected, where people rights are also respected. So we are in the course of doing that right now.
You know, that's fascinating. Did you say that the Trump administration invited your group to the inauguration and not the Nigerian government?
Yes, yes. Nigerian government was not there, and if you recently Trump has cut off the U.S. aid to Nigeria, about $1.2 billion that they send to Nigeria every year. That has been cut off. It has been stopped because the the abuse by the Nigerian government is huge. But at every step, they have used the network they have either in Europe or in France to suppress the freedom of indigenous Nigeria, especially the Biafrans. So um, even the United, when they arrested the leader Nnamdi Kanu, there was a committee set up by the United Nations to look into the case because Nigerian government planned and they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu has been in DSS dungeon now for almost 5 years, going to 5 years, even though there was a committee on the arbitrary detention of innocent citizens. That committee of the United Nations sat and they ordered Nigeria to release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him. Till today, that has not happened. So these human rights abuses is what even in the United Nations Committee on Human Rights 2 years ago, when Nigeria applied to be part of that committee, only Nigeria got only about 2 or 3 votes. Countries like Ghana, countries like Kenya are making huge impact in the areas of human rights, in the areas of freedom of their citizens. But Nigeria has been it's just a failed state, has been deteriorating by the second.
Yes, that does seem clear. And it's an excellent sign, really, to get that invitation from Trump, because Trump, of course, has very clearly set out a path since he's become president again of trying to establish a new order in the world, not a new world order, which is what the other people are all about, but a try to end some of the madness of the United States giving aid to failed terror states such as the government of Nigeria and the Palestinians and so on, and instead aiding genuine struggles of indigenous peoples for independence. And so I hope that that will be followed through by this administration in terms of genuine support for the struggle of the people of Biafra and aid for them to be able to establish their independence. What do you think of the prospects, however, on a more negative note, unfortunately, of a war starting like the war that took place between 1967 and 70?
Thank you so much, and I thank you for that comment. Where the expectation of Biafrans is we get the support from the United States of America, and again, we already see some signs to that, and we are very, very happy at where we are right now. In the area of the war breaking out, or what happened between 1967 and now, I have to let you know that is a different scenario right now. So many things have changed in the area of the information that the world have right now on what Biafrans went through between 1967 and 1970. There's a lot of awareness right now that's being created by Biafrans all over the world that we all need to go home and develop our nation. Unlike in the past, where there is suppression, there's limited information of what is happening inside the Biafra territory. Um, During the 1967 to 9 innocent kids, we are over 3 million, and for almost 3 to 5 million innocent Biafrans were starved to death because they didn't have the right information. Some of the countries in the world didn't even know what is happening. So many things have changed. We don't expect that. The killings that have been done by the Nigerian state on a daily basis, even as of 2 days ago, some of the images are so gory. And when you see the pattern of these killings are patterned after jihadism, after the terrorism, because Biafrans are by nature very, it is difficult for Biafrans to spill blood. But what happens is that the delegitimized Nigerian governors that are occupying the Biafra territory in the southeast and south part of Nigeria, working collaboratively with the Nigerian state, they ship all these killers, all these mercenaries into the Biafra land. So the world has more information right now on what is happening in Biafra territory. That is why the way we are going about it right now is definitely going to be different from what obtained between 1967 and 1970.
I certainly hope so. And in conclusion, what would you say to the Christians and other people of goodwill around the world about the struggle of the people of Biafra today?
Thank you so much for that question. Christians in Nigeria are begging to leave. We are begging to leave. People are attacked in their homes with guns, with AK-47, with machetes. People are butchered while they are sleeping. Innocent children are butchered. Women and girls are raped in the bushes. Christians cannot converge and practice their religion securely and safely in Biafraland and in other parts of Nigeria. What I have to say is that we have to be persistent. We have to carve out a country where both Christians and Muslims have the right to exist without anyone killing each other. But what happens in Nigeria is that you have a country where there is an agenda to Islamize the whole country. And this plan is being perpetuated, is being carried out by the Nigeria state. Currently, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra is being detained and incarcerated in Finland by the Finnish authority on a very flimsy excuse that Simon Ekpa, who is our Prime Minister, is inciting Biafrans. How can you incite people that are just begging to leave? People that are killed by their hundreds every day. And we have our leader, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, Nigerian government, through their foreign affairs minister, Bianca Ojukwu, has just laid up some truncated charges against our prime minister. And Finland arrested him just 2 weeks before we declared our independence. But Biafrans, mostly who are Christians, we were resolute. We all converged in Finland. We were able to declare our independence despite Finland holding our prime minister to truncate that process. So that shows that you cannot just defeat an ideology. We are Christians. We are begging to live. We do not want to live in a country whose policy is to rehabilitate and reintegrate non-terrorists like Boko Haram into the military, into the police. Nothing is secure. So I encourage Biafrans to be resolute. I encourage Christians all over Nigeria to be resolute. We have to stick our ground and ensure that it is okay for self-determination. It is okay for self-defense. These are rights that are guaranteed by the United Nations, by the African Charter. But the Nigerian government, as is currently constituted, is trying to take that freedom away from us. So we are not going to back down. It is our right to choose who is going to be our leader. It is our right to defend our people from the reintegrated terrorists that are coming to kill us. It is our right to go back and develop Biafraland. By the declaration we've done, we are going to go home and practice our religion and not be scared. Just as it happens in near Ebonyi State few days ago, where people were in the church and they came in and gunned down almost 30 people. Just like that, including innocent children. These children did not commit any crime. Their crime is just to exist in a nation called Nigeria. How long are we going to be forced to live in a country where the president never make any statement to these killings? No remorse. The governor's nothing. All the governor did was do not retaliate. How long are they going to continue to tell us do not retaliate? And we are massacred by the day, by the night. So we are pursuing the course, our freedom to self-defend our land, to self-defend our people, using every legal available means to ensure that our people are not murdered every single day.
Excellently stated, and thank you. I would observe that the government of Finland is acting like Western governments all over Europe as well as North America. They don't have any idea of the jihad. They don't have any idea what they're doing to their own countries by bringing in massive numbers of Muslim migrants. They will be facing the same thing that Biafrans are facing today in the future because of their short-sighted actions. And so I applaud you and thank you for calling upon Christians, upon Biafrans, upon all free people to be resolute. This is something that we all need to take to heart and be of good courage. Dr. Ngozi Orobueze, thank you very much for speaking with me, for bringing attention to these all-important issues. And I wish you and the Biafran people all success. May God bless your efforts and prosper them and enable you to establish a strong and independent state that will withstand all pressures from outside. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, Robert Spencer, for having me. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of us.
Thank you again. And
over of our liberty, the Passover of our existence. That's what we're here today for. But before we start, I'm going to introduce our one and only Dr. Orobueze, the lioness of Biafra, the Deputy Prime Minister and Chief of Staff of United States of Biafra. Please, I'm going to hand over to her for her to give us a brief speech before we continue. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Orobueze.
All right. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Thank you all so much. Thank you, our able financial secretary from D. I know your head is like popping out, but it's okay. I thank you so much for what you're doing. I thank all Biafrans for coming today. First of all, I want us to recognize our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. The reason for this season, the person why we are doing what we are doing. We thank you, His Excellency, for your resilience. We thank you for your patriotism. We thank you for bringing United States of Biafra and making USB a free nation. Thank you, His Excellency, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. We also want to use this opportunity to thank our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for your resilience, for your steadfastness, for what you do. You are also the reason for the season. We thank you for what you do for Biafrans. We thank you for standing the ground that Biafra must be free. And I want to let you know, Biafra is already a free nation. We've declared our independence on the 29th of November 2024 in Lahti, Finland. No one, nobody can tamper with that. That is a promise we Biafrans are giving you. We also want to use this opportunity to thank our defense forces, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Security, the disciplined Biafra Security being assembled to protect the sovereignty of the United States of Biafra, despite the killings being perpetrated by the Nigeria state, using the delegitimized Southeast and South-South governors and their agents inside Biafraland, including Ebubago, the Operation Odogad, all these criminals inside Biafraland. Your time is running out. It is a promise. United States of Biafra is a sovereign state. Any foreign occupation by Nigeria inside Biafra at this point is criminal. We've already instructed Nigeria to leave. Anything you're doing at this point, at this time, inside Biafra land is illegal by all classic world international standard, by the United Nations standard, by the African Charter standard. Any presence of Nigeria agent, Nigeria office, Nigeria security inside Biafra land at this point, not authorized by this United States of Biafra government, is illegal and it is a crime. We've already told you to leave Nigeria. We've already instructed you to leave. You know, for peace to reign, you must leave the Biafra territory, the 40 states of Biafra. If you do not know, ask the question and leave. So we thank the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces, the Biafra Navy, and the Biafra Air Force for what they do, the plans they do. There is only one nation, the United States of Biafra, under the leadership of His Excellency, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, deputized by my humble self, Dr. Ngozoro Boise, the Chief of Staff and Deputy Prime Minister to the United States of Biafra. That is where we are at this point. We thank all the 40 state governors that have been working day and night to make sure they fulfill the plans laid down by the United States of Biafra and their executives. We thank all the secretaries of the cabinet of the United States of Biafra. We also thank the cabinet members of the United States of Biafra. We thank all the stakeholders in the United States of Biafra. We also thank all the allies. We got a lot of allies. We got a lot of people helping us privately that some of you do not know. Financially, morally, helping us to make this journey very, very quick, quicker than even how some of us expect. We thank them. We thank the United States of America for standing up. We thank President Trump for what he is doing to ensure that the killing, the genocide being committed inside Biafra land is taken care of. And we thank you, President Donald Trump, and your executives for what you do for Biafra people. Again, everything doesn't have to be in the public domain, but we know that Nigeria cannot continue to kill unarmed innocent indigenous Biafrans and other indigenous Christians all over Nigeria, killing them by reintegrating and rehabilitating non-terrorists into the Nigeria security, into the Nigeria army, into the Nigeria police, taking over our lands with a plan, a systemic plan to Islamize Nigeria. Thank you so much, President Trump, for what you do for us. Thank you, the executives. You know who you are, for what you do for the United States of Biafra. I am very, very happy. Biafrans are very happy. We appreciate you. We thank you for seeing what the Nigerian state is doing to innocent Christians in that enclave called Nigeria. Thank you so much for taking those bold steps and many more that you've promised to do. Again, Biafrans, I thank you all today. We come here today to do what we know best to do, which is to raise funds to stop the killing of innocent Biafrans by reintegrated terrorists hired by President Tinubu, supported by some of his ministers like Bianca, Ojukwu. Oh no, people say, stop saying, Ojukwu can never support what this criminal woman is doing. We know that. Just like the one that says she represented Nnamdi Kanu and come out to call us, the pseudo whatever, whatever. On our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never support what that idiot does. The same way, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa can never support what that foolish idiot they call the ex-wife come on Twitter to do. There is a pattern, and Biafrans, you need to know this pattern. I believe the true Biafrans have seen the pattern. We are when our leaders are being subjugated by the Nigerian state. Their so-called wives or ex-wives come out to say stupid shit on the social media. This is a pattern. But now that pattern has been exposed. Biafrans now know this pattern. And Biafrans have resisted that pattern by the declaration of the United States of Biafra on the 29th of November 2024. So we thank all Biafrans. Today we gather again for this fundraising for humanitarian purposes to ensure that our men, our women, our children that are killed by the Nigerian state and by the reintegrated terrorists, that we take care of them. That's all we are doing. That is why this fundraising is going on. We cannot be Biafrans in diaspora having the best jobs, earning top salaries in the world, and our people are being killed by the Nigerian state, headed by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa, the defense chief, getting no help. When the reintegrated terrorists, they push into the Biafra territory, continues to kill our people, it is our task to defend our people. Our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers have been killed by the defense chief of Nigeria, Christopher Musa. It is a plan to systemically Islamize Nigeria. They are executing it by bringing in mercenaries into Biafraland to kill, arrest innocent Biafrans for nothing because they are Christians. Biafra is a Christian nation. It's a Jewish nation. It's a traditionalist nation. It is not an extremist Islamic nation. But President Tinubu has hired extremist Islamic people to come into Biafra and kill us. That is something we say is not going to continue to happen. We must resist that. Tinubu have used the delegitimized Southeast, South governors like Soludo, like Hope Uzadema, like Pitamba, to arrest, dehumanize, and kill innocent Biafrans unarmed, innocent Biafrans that did not do anything. all their crime is just because they are Biafrans. The whole world have seen how innocent Biafrans that deal in tipper business, they were hired, they were rounded up by these Fulani terrorists that were integrated by Nigerian state, and they dumped all of them at the back of a van. And those people they dumped inside there, some of them have died. Some of them could not breathe because the people hired by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa, they were marching on top of those innocent Biafrans. They did not do anything. These are tipper lorry business that we are excavating sands, trying to make the road motorable. President Tinubu have ordered any male in Biafraland to be killed, and that's exactly what they were doing. These are innocent Biafran, innocent welders. And you can see when Soludo, through his men, showed canisters, generators, gas cylinders. They used to do their welding business. And President Tinubu and Christopher Musa ordered Soludo and his agents, the Ebubago and all that, to kill these innocent Biafrans. How long are we going to continue to just allow these few? They are less than 1%. Tinubu and Co. all the Ebubago put together, they are less than 1%. They are the ones that are killing our people by the day. That video is all over social media, where they rounded up these innocent Biafrans, dumped them inside a van, and was showing them as criminals. And Finland, you are questioning Simon Ekpa, and you see all these killings. Eventually, we will know how this case is going to go down between Finland, Nigerian government, and Biafrans. And we tell you, you can never attack Biafrans and go free. What Simon Ekpa is doing is what all of us are doing. We are resisting the killing of innocent Christians, innocent Biafran by the Nigerian terrorist state. That's exactly what we are doing. Finland, you also fought your war to be independent. Now, some of those innocent Biafrans, some of them have been released, and they say, oh, this is somebody that has been released. The person is not a terrorist, right? But those individuals, some of them are dead. The ones you're releasing is because they are alive to tell their stories. What about the ones that are dead that could not tell their stories? Christopher Musa, what about those that could not tell their stories? The Ebubago, the people you sent through Soludo to kill these innocent Biafrans, what about those that could not tell their stories? Some of them were dead, some of them have died, because you allowed this Ebubago and this operation, whatever, that Soludo, they were marching on those individuals. They dumped almost 20 individuals at the back of that truck. They removed all their shirts. They've already labeled them as criminals. So some of them were dead. How do you now say that those individuals were not criminals after you've killed them and you want us to keep quiet? So Biafrans, I just want to open this with a brief of what we are going to do today to continue raising money to safeguard the lives of innocent Biafrans that are being hounded up by Soludo, by Hope Uzodimma, and by the Nigerian state, and labeling them criminals. Labeling them that these are people that are terrorists. That is what this money is going to go towards. I also want to use this opportunity to inform the whole world there is only one United States of Biafra. Any criminal parading himself or herself as representing our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, we are today issuing a notice to all of them to cease and desist. They do not represent Biafra. They do not represent United States of Biafra, but rather they are representing the Nigerian state that have paid them to destroy what we are doing. And Biafra, you must confront them in whatever form they present themselves. All of us know, during Wazulike's time, they used the commanders that were around him to stop the restoration of Biafra. During Nnamdi Kanu's time, they used those DOS to extradite him from Kenya to Nigeria. Now, during Simon Ekpa's time, they are using these criminals that parade as brigade to disrupt and destroy what we are doing. We are not going to allow them. They have failed and they will continue to fail. Whoever associates himself or herself with these criminals, we know what you are sent to do. And we are going to confront you. Most of you have seen the letter that the crazy one that called himself Ogenkere wrote to Finland. We saw the response, and it's on my Twitter page. All of you can go and read it. The questions you Biafran have to ask. Ask this criminal working for the Nigerian state, what was the letter that he sent to Finland before Finland responded with this letter that I posted? You all need to get that letter immediately from that criminal. Who authorized him to write a letter to Finland? What power does he have to write anything to Finland? The Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, already declared a surrogate, which is my humble self. Who authorized a criminal to write a letter apologizing for Christ's sake, for leniency, for Christ's sake? What is the crime that our Prime Minister have committed? What is a crime except doing what you and I are doing today to ensure that Nigerian state does not continue to kill Biafra Christians? Why should this criminal write a letter to Finland to be begging for leniency for our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, who has not committed any crime? This is the danger. This is the way that the Nigerian government has used, is using to disrupt the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, which we've already declared. He can never, ever stop that. So, Biafrans, it is left for you. This task is not about Dr. Robinson. It's about the whole United States of Biafra. On that note, I open this fundraising. I welcome everyone. Thank you so much for what you do, Biafrans. And the promise Biafrans is giving to the whole world is this. No matter the style you came with, no matter the tactics you came with, no matter how the plan you came with to kill Biafrans, to truncate the restoration of the United States of Biafra fully, is already dead on arrival. You will never succeed. I'm telling President Tinubu, Bianca, Ojukwu, Christopher Musa, you will never, ever succeed. You will not. As long as Biafrans are involved in this case, you suck our mineral resources and you think the mineral resources you suck to send out to some Western world like Europe, France, and so on, and Finland, the contract you're negotiating with them, you think that by silencing Biafrans, by killing all the males in Biafrans, you will have the opportunity to take our oil and send it to Finland. It's dead on arrival. And Bianca Ojukwu, when you come out publicly to say the bilateral relationship you're trying to establish with Finland in the area of agriculture, agroeconomics, we already know where you're going. We already know what you are set up for. And I promise you, you cannot go far. You will never succeed in this struggle, in this declaration we've already done for the United States of Biafra. You cannot succeed. On that note, Biafrans, Some of you have seen I posted the response of the European Parliament to His Excellency, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, when he brought to the attention of European Union that Biafrans are being killed, that there is a genocide going on in the United States of Biafra territory. Our Prime Minister wrote that letter to European Parliament. The response, I've posted it on my Twitter page. All of you can go and read it. The European Parliament told our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, that that case is not within our purview. So it's not within the purview of European Union, European Parliament, to wade into the genocide being committed against Christians in Biafra territory. But this same European Parliament, using Finland, is wading into the complaint that Tinubu and Bianca Ojukwu has sent to Finland, that Simon Ekpa is protecting Biafrans. So where is the justice? If European Parliament, you do not allow, you do not support Prime Minister Simon Ekpa to bring the genocide to you, now are you, through Finland, investigating Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, the same case that was brought by you, Nigeria, to Finland? Where is the justice? Where is the justice? So Simon Ekpa's case is not within European Parliament purview, right? But the investigation of Simon Ekpa by Finland is within European Parliament purview, right? So European Parliament, you need to write a letter to Finland that they do not have a right to investigate Prime Minister Simon Ekpa because it's not within their purview. If you have said that the genocide being committed by the reintegrated terrorists of the Nigerian state is not within European Parliament purview, European Parliament, for you to remain neutral, you need to write Finland to let them know that the case they are investigating about Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is not also within their purview, because that case was brought to you by Nigeria. On that note, I open this fundraising. Thank you so much, Biafrans.
Thank you. Thank you.